Hi, and thanks for watching another instructional video for CSCI 1300. In this video, we will cover common commands for using the terminal window in your IDE. The terminal, or bash, is a window that allows programmers options when dealing with files and code. Your computer has a system of file storage called a file directory, which enables us to store programs and files within files in the computer. The file directory of your computer is directly accessible through the terminal by using a series of commands. I will now open a new terminal, and the first thing that is noticed is there is a file directory pathway already specified before the command prompt after the $sign. This file directory pathway is the primary location of your file storage for VS Code. Wherever you are going to have your primary folder, this is the file directory pathway to where those programs will be stored. The first command I'd like to show you is called the ls command. ls is a very useful command which allows us to list the contents of the file folder that we are currently within in the file directory pathway. So if I type ls and press enter, two file folders will show up. These file folders reside within the file folder named code, which is the last one in the file directory pathway specified in the terminal. To change into a different file folder, we can specify the name of the folder and use another command called cd. cd stands for change directory and allows us to move up or down through our file directory pathway at will. I'm going to change into a file folder within the code folder. So if I want to move into VS Code, I can type VS Code and I will move into it. The other thing that I can do is I can also press tab and it will automatically fill the rest of the word for that file folder. So if I type the first couple of letters for that file folder and then press tab, it will autofill because the file directory has already listed it and the terminal knows this already. So if I type ls again, we'll notice that we're inside of a different folder because the contents are different when we look at them. Inside of VS Code, we have C++ programs and their executables. If we want to move up in the file directory pathway, we can use the cd command followed by two dots. This allows us to go back one folder in our file directory pathway. And if we type ls again, you'll notice that we're back at the file directory folder where we started originally. If we would like to move even further, we can continue this process. And if you want to go to the very top of your directory, which normally sometimes happens by accident, there's nothing at the top of your directory usually, but if it happens just from pressing cd without any other specifications, you'll notice that all you get is a tilde and a $sign. There will be no file folders listed usually, and sometimes it can be hard for students to figure out how to get back to their file folders. If this happens, there's a couple of things that you can do. The first thing that you could do is you could close your terminal and open a new one, and you will go back to your original location where your files are stored for VS Code. The other way that you can move into file folders is you can specify the pathway if you know the order in which the files are stored. So in my case, I want to go back to my desktop, so I'm going to cd back through the file folders that are listed in the previous file directory pathway. And you can see now that that has been reflected in the terminal. And if we type ls again, we'll notice that we are getting different files because we're looking at the files that are on the desktop of my laptop. The next command that I'd like to show you is how to create a file folder through the terminal. This is very useful for organizing your files, and there are additional commands that you can look up and learn how to use the bash more efficiently. You can move files around, you can copy files, there are all kinds of different bash commands, but the commands that I'm going to show you today are just going to be the simplest commands for you to start with CSCI 1300's course. So to create a file folder, we're going to use the mkdir command, which stands for make directory, and we'll leave a space, and then we're going to give the name of the file folder that we want to create. So in this case, I want to create a file folder for videos, so I'll specify the name of the file and press enter. I'm now going to use the ls command, and you'll notice that there is now a folder listed as videos when there was not before. And even if you minimize and check, there is now a file folder on the desktop called videos. The last command that I'm going to cover in this video is a command called the clear. If you've been working with your terminal for an extended period of time, you might have a clogged terminal with a lot of things to look at. If you need to reset your terminal without closing the window, you can type the command clear, and your terminal will auto-clear itself. That's all for this video. Thanks, and happy coding.